Hi everyone. So today I will talk about the peoples of the biblical world, especially old Babylonians, Persians, Assyrians, and others. Exciting thing is I will show these people through my journey in the Louvre Museum. The thing is, I visit the Louvre Museum this month in December 1st, 2024. See my family, went to Paris. We visited this amazing museum, and I see many of the things like in the right, the Hammurabi code is related to the people I'm going to show you. Okay, so besides the Louvre Museum and its website, I used several other references showing here. I really like this book. It's The Peoples of the Old Testament, 1994. So it's, for example, this is showing the chapters, including all the peoples I will show you the Babylonians and other things in a very concise, very clear way. Besides this book, there's four other books. For example, this is about the sea people, like including uh, uh, the and the CPU I'll show you. Then this is a handbook. This is a much older 1973 book about people of Old Testament time. Then this is our own textbook. I cited that as well. So this is my outline. I will talk about focus on Babylonian, Assyrian, and Persian, but I will talk about several others as well. So old Babylonians. So Babylonians has a long history, but we won't focus on the old Babylonians. So these Asian Semitic-speaking people established the first Babylonian empire. It's called Akkad Empire, or is after Akkad it's called it's dominated by Amorite people. It can be Amorite dynasty, although the language more is the population is more like Akkad. So the most famous one we everybody know is the uh, uh, Hammurabi Code, right? A very famous king who so wrote this. I will show you the legal code. Then it's made advanced the legal system, and even wrote the very famous literature, the epic, the Gilgamesh, right? Developed a lot of good economics, shown in the book by uh, Health 1994, edited by him. So the religion they have a pantheon of God worship. Then there's a lot of hierarchy in the society. So yeah, this is the one of the most famous Hammurabi code. I was there looking this way. The steel is called steel. It's 2 meters tall, much taller to me. So it's written. It's actually 282. If you look very close, for example, one famous one is the law 196. Is if a man put out and I for an eye, right? So then a bone for a bone, so it's T for a T, 200. So yeah, it's surprising. It's such still you can write like 200 code. For example, this is I took the photo of the details. So of course I cannot understand the language, but it's preserved so well, right? You can see here. So what's the connection to the Bible? First, I believe I like the theories that Abraham actually might come from the Ur in Babylonian within the Hammurabi's region. But of course, this is not the most popular theory. The other theory is maybe much earlier than the time of Hammurabi. But I think because Abraham is called from it's Chaldean, right? The word Chaldean is probably is related to Babylonian. That's the reason I think that's true. Then the code might be influenced the Torah's Mosaic law because it's actually history is before Moses, right? So and another fact I learned from here is that is the Hammurabi actually maybe identified as someone the king of Shinar mentioned in Genesis. I didn't know that after before I visited the Louvre Museum. So this is another thing in Louvre Museum. So then this is called the lament over the fall of Ur, tells how this devastated this city with strong. So this is from the another interesting about all the Babylonian, but from the city of Ur. So it's similar to what the in Lamentation. So um, uh, related is destroyed. Is recorded such things as well. So, but that's old Babylonian. But very confusing is, of course, there's the Neo-Babylonian, which is a much later thing, which is it's called the Chaldean Empire. The most famous is the uh, Nebuchadnezzar second, right? He kind of removed the Jewish people that have a very successful military conquest. Also built, he's an architecture kind of not only for famous for military, but he's famous built the hanging gardens of Babylon, and built a great city at that time, right? So and in 587 BC, it captured Jerusalem and caused the captivity of Jews, right? But this is Neo-Babylonian, much later than the older Babylonian empires. So second is the Assyrians. So Assyrians is also Semitic speaking people as Babylonians, but then it is centered in Mesopotamian, the modern northern Iraq. So the major city, of course, we are famous from Bible is Nineveh, right? So the key leaders, several showing here. Uh, so, for example, some is the Sargon II. They conquered the kingdom of Israel, exiled its people. Then this one is in called the Sennacherib, right? The famous Sennacherib siege of the Judah, but it was his army was killed by the uh, angel. But this is a little bit because there's a very famous prison. I think it's in University of Chicago showing the event. I talked about this actually have different interpretation from the Bible and from that prison, but somehow shows it didn't successfully destroy the Judah, right? So of course the this is very important related to the Bible is the exile of the northern kingdom of Israel by Syrian. It's recorded in Second Kings, and then the famous I just mentioned the Sennacherib siege of Jerusalem. So then recently in this semester we studied a lot of the book of prophets like Isaiah, Jonah, or now, especially Nahum, right? We read it is all about Assyrian, especially Nineveh, right? So the condemns. Okay, so see, this is the picture I took. So that's my daughter, kind of. So it's Sargon second. I mean, Sargon the first is actually it's much earlier. It's the Sumerian people, right? Sargon the second is palace, right? So there's a very famous picture as Lamassu is the Assyrian sphinx that is more like a person, a lion, and five legs appear natural with different. It's 5 legs. That's very interesting. And this picture is actually this part shown here is all shown in our textbook. It shows this is a hero in Mesopotamian. Okay, so this is this very huge uh, um, thing is guarded as the entrance to the buildings to the Assyrian palace, right? And then in this Sargon Paris, so this very famous one to depict is to describe the Sargon second, the right one with the crown, with a crown, and probably with his son or the successor, which is the famous Sennacherib. Okay, so and the below one is the kind of relief, war relief shows the boatman transporting cedar of Lebanon down to probably used by Solomon for Jerusalem's temple. But I think they have different interpretation based on our textbook as well. Then the Assyrian king Hazael attacked Israel during the region of several Israel kings received a tribute from them to prevent the attack. This ivory plate is describing the king Hadra framed by Pharaoh. So this is another famous artifact in Louvre Museum about the Assyrian. Okay, but of course, like the old Babylonian, there's a new Neo-Babylonian empire. There's a new later Assyrian empire. So, for example, in Louvre Museum, this is a stone showing the first king of the Neo-Assyrian empire about 745 BCs. Okay, the third one I focus on is the Persian Empire after the Babylonian, the Neo-Babylonian empire, right? So the key leaders, we know the several most famous, the Cyrus the Great, right? So kind of allowed the Jewish to return, rebuild. So then another one is Darius First the Great, expanded the empire to increase the territory extent. Then another one also is called Saxerus. So it's known as conflict with Greece and its role in the book of Lazarus. For example, as shown here, I already said, so appears rebuilding the temple and the book Lazarus. So they kind of defeated the Babylonians. Then it played a very important role in the Bible. Okay, so in the Louvre Museum, it shows the royal palace of Susan. Yeah, we know Susan is the city mentioned in the Bible. It's one of the capitals, right, in the Persian Empire. It's actually got by excavated by French in 19th and 20th centuries. That palace was built by King Darius first. Okay, so this picture actually took by me, but it's also showed in our textbook as a way, because this is showing the Persian immortal soldiers, or the troops of Persian of empire called with strings, is showing this. It's very nice, well preserved thing. So the other one, there's another famous in the museum. I took this picture showing the bull-shaped calling capital from that so-called Apadana. Is that the audience hall in that palace is 5 meters tall. This column supports the. You can imagine the immersed kind of huge structures of this palace, right? So then this can be, people believe, this even can be related to the event in Book of Esther, where the Darius held the banquet where the queen was dismissed, where the story started, right? Just in Esther. That's kind of amazing. If you see, this is real, the thing of that audience hall where this happens, okay? So, of course, this not one, this woman, you know, the woman in the Proverbs 31 is described being busy spinning fabrics. So this war stone released from Sudan, showing also this woman using a spindle to doing this at that time. This picture is also shown in our both textbook, page 444. Another artifact is from Louvre Museum, is the lion, the symbol of, at that time for a Persian, is a symbol of loyal power, brings the mind to den, or probably is reminded the lion den which Daniel was captured, right? Okay, so besides these three, I will talk about the Phoenicians. Okay, Phoenicians are is kind of one of the sea people living in the coast, right? It's modern like Lebanon, Syria. Okay, so the key city is the kind of coast city, Tyre, Sidon, right? So they worship a pantheon god, include a very kind of well-known Baal. and their religion influenced the neighbor culture, including Israel. So the Bible connection, including, is frequently this kind of group people mentioned in the Bible. For example, the king Hiram of Tyre supply material labor to Solomon's temple, and the very bad one, the uh, Jezebel, right? The very kind of wicked um, queen, right? Who was original Phoenician princess, married the king Arab, right? So promoted this Baal worship. So this is also talked about a lot by the Ezekiel in his book. So in Louvre Museum, yeah, there's a, for example, Sphinx war stone about this. As the Sphinx is kind of a creature with like a lion, human, eagle, hybrid, right? With this engineering style. This is this, I believe this style is parallel to the Jezebel seal linked to the Queen Jezebel of Philip's descendant and wife, the King Arab. Okay. Then another one is so-called the uh, Boda Stratus inscription showing here in the picture. So it's from the king of the Sidon. So was a at that time, this city was a vassal to the Persian Empire. So this is dedicated to a Gentile god, the goddess of fertility, Ashita, right? So I think it's also known as Ashtar. It's kind of very well known in the Bible as a uh, deity worshipped by um, Israel during the period of adultery in Judges and Samuel. So even by the King Solomon to appease his Sidonian wives. Okay, so that's is very interesting thing to see. So the other way is Moabites. Moabites as Semitic speaking people living near the Dead Sea. So in the region of modern Jordan. They are descendant of course the Bible is Moab is the son of the Lot, the Abraham's nephew, right? The Lord had this son with his daughter, right? So territory. So this is Moab, I said, is near the is near the Dead Sea. So Moabites have complex relationship with Israel. You have conflict. So, for example, during is the Exodus, they have conflict, but there's have also alliance and influence. For example, the king Bala of Moab hired Balaam to curse Israel, but God turned the curse into blessing. Intermarriage, adultery leads to with the Moabites leads to okay, we know the very famous Luz, right? She is a Moabite woman, but became the ancestor of the King David and Jesus, right? So then there's the King Mesh of Moabite. That's what we will talk about in the next. The very famous one is called the Mesha steel. Is this one? So it's called also called a Moabite stone discovered in 1868 in Jordan by a English British missionary. Okay, is commissioned by the Mesha king of Moab, so mentioned in Second Kings. So Moab as well even in the Bible because the king of Israel Omri is operation oppressed defeated Moab and Mesha's rebellion against the king, the Israel after his king's death. So it's also here very more important. We know that it mentions Yahweh, the God of Israel, in this stone, and more in the 931 it mentioned the house of David. This is the only a few known artifacts outside of the Bible referencing the King of David. This is very, I think it's mentioned in our textbook as well. That's why this stone is very famous in Louvre Museum. Okay, Egyptians, of course, this famous. So, for example, this very famous called Scriber kind of sculpture in Louvre Museum. It's kind of this is kind of similar, famous to the Mona Lisa and the Venus. When you show if we look at the map of the Louvre Museum, you will see this one. So this is showing a scriber in the Egyptian. So it's very, it's not a skill everyone can have. So it's really very important position, skillful writers. So for example, and the other one, this kind of painting is showing the Egyptian have sophisticated believers of the afterlife. So they spend much effort preparing for it. This image from the book of the dead of Nebuchadnezzar describe a man's soul flying in bird from down to the tomb of the shaft. Okay, so uh, in fact, the other one here is showing their worship. In this is actually the picture is in Louvre Museum was used as the cover of our chapter in Numbers 47. Is about the what we response, right? Especially about worship. Worship in ancient world is very important. So, but our textbook describe how the Bible kind of shift from the worship is kind of pleasing the God is established rather than to the Bible's worship is the covenant relation between the God, right? So that is a very interesting to see here. So summarize. So I think it's in the Louvre Museum is there's a lot of biblical treasures. You can even spend days there. So why not for famous artwork like Mona Lisa? I mean, and Venus from Minor, right? That's the most two famous thing in Louvre Museum. But the Louvre Museum, how significant biblical facts in Near East archaeology collection. We can learn a lot. So I showed you the exact key artifact, the code of Hammurabi, the Mason stele, right? So and also this artifacts, this kind of highlights the historical cultural accuracy of Bible. It's really there, right? So you can feel, you can see it is kind of so real. They bring biblical narratives to life, connecting the visitor to the heritage of billions of believers. I believe so, yeah. So what's the insight of the visitor like me? Why most tutorial should look at the most famous art pieces. The real treasure for biblical history are actually is in for me is in the museum's East Asian exhibition. So a must see for the who seek a deeper appreciation of the Bible's historical context is accuracy. That's kind of amazing. So finally, so yeah, thank you for listening to my talk. So here's the reference list again is our textbook, the Louvre Museum and its website and its material, like even maps. Then there's several other books, especially I said I like this one, the 1994 one, provide a lot of information of different people in the Old Testament world. Thank you for listening to this my talk.